25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. What is today? Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday the 20th.
Just had a blast from the past. Yeah,
that was exciting. I'm glad I was able to be here for that.
Yeah, it was kind of sweet, wasn't it? Nobody knows what we're talking about. Should I explain?
You should explain.
First, let me introduce you. This is your show. Joe Reichel here. The show is called Damage Control. If you have a do-it-yourself project you're working on, Joe will help you out with that. Or if it's too big for you and you want some help, professional help, he can help you out with that too.
Fires, floods, storm, tree damage, new construction, that's what we do.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just got to experience, and this is for you listeners that weren't here. Larry just had his number one fan. Number one fan. And she brought some memorabilia from from the past and had Larry sign it. And one of them was a record label. I should have taken a picture of it. Robin took a picture of it.
She had two singles.
Okay, I just saw the one. Had Larry's picture on it.
Yeah. Well, I think the other one had just a regular sleeve.
Okay.
But did you even know that I made records?
I did not. I did not.
It's kind of like a well-kept secret. I don't talk about it too much. But
you should.
Why? It's ancient history.
You've got fans out there.
It won. I should have been really famous, though. I would have had those kind of hugs all the time.
You could have got hugs like that all the time.
Man. Now I know what your life is like.
Yeah. Me and all my raving fans.
So how you doing?
I'm doing good.
You know, my neighbor Doug, who you've met,
right,
had his roof repaired. And it turned out that there was not a big major problem, but instead it was simply the gutters were clogged, and that's why his roof was leaking because
they were backing up. Yeah, that will happen. And that's why, especially this time of the year, going into the springtime, all the foliage has fallen off the trees, and that will plug your gutters and cause the gutters to back up. So as we get more of these springtime rains, you'll have more and more problems like that. So check your roofs, make sure that they're clear of debris. You don't have limbs rubbing against them. Oftentimes we'll see shingles that'll have considerable wear because of the tree branches are just rubbing on them. So you want to clean that off. You want to clean the gutters or any valleys or anywhere where the leaves and debris and off the trees can back up. Will cause a leak there. So, Speaking of tree cleaning, had a little bit of excitement in our lives.
What happened?
Well, had a homeowner was out cutting some limbs, and he had a ladder up in a tree. And got all the limbs cut and went up the ladder again to untie the ladder. And as soon as he untied it, shifted, knocked him down. He fell about 20 feet to the ground.
Oh, my goodness.
And ended up in the hospital yesterday.
Oh, wow. That's too bad.
Yeah, it was my father-in-law.
Your father-in-law?
Yeah.
My God.
The man who started this company.
May I ask how old are you?
I think Dad's 66 or something like that. So
not a good age to be falling.
No, not a good age to be falling. So he's in the hospital right now.
Oh gosh.
So I guess the more that want to wave to your fan.
Yeah.
Wave goodbye. Thanks for coming in. The moral of the story would be to hire professionals or get help. And he was out there doing it alone too. That was kind of the.
But the tone of voice tells me he's okay though.
He is. He's going to be okay.
Okay. And did he fall on his back?
He fell on his shoulder and the side of his face. So
that's what's damaged.
Yeah.
The shoulder and the face. Oh man. Did he break any bones?
He's got a broken nose.
Oh.
And they did an MRI yesterday. They're not sure quite for the arm and stuff. So.
Wow. Yeah.
So kind of.
That's a good message.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about trimming the limbs and trees all the time, but and he's capable of doing it. But two things: he was doing it by himself, and.
And once you start falling, you can't stop it.
There's no stopping.
I'm sure he felt that too. It's like, oh, now what do I do?
I haven't talked to him today, but I was talking to him a little bit yesterday. Today, I'm sure he's really hurting.
Did I ever tell you I don't think I ever did. I fell off a truck one time. a big gas truck.
The turnip truck?
No, it was one of those big gas tank trucks, the big cylinder things.
Right.
I was hired to paint it. This is when I was a kid. And you know how far back this goes, speaking of far back. I was listening to Casey Kasem counting down the top, whatever he did, top 40.
The top 40. And I've listened to Casey Kasem.
Okay, now I fell on, you're younger than, you look younger than you are too, apparently, obviously. But anyway, so I fell down on my back when Casey was at, let's say, number 27. I don't really remember what number he was at. And then I just simply got up. I fell down, I got up, but it was now number like 21. So it was like, wow, 7 songs. I must have been knocked out. Was he alone when he fell, your father-in-law?
He was alone.
So he may have not been passed out and didn't know it.
He passed out.
Oh, he does know.
Yeah.
It. Does he know how long?
No.
Because I was like 6 or 7 songs worth.
He woke up and he's looking at the ground and not quite sure. He's kind of trying to look around and he realizes, okay, I just fell.
Wow.
And then he got up and ended up passing out again and fell, landing on the concrete. And that's kind of what did the majority of the damage.
Did he call 911 himself?
No. He ended up getting to the door and rang the doorbell, and Mom came and called 911. So.
Oh, my goodness.
So, kind of the moral of the story, I guess, would be I
hope he's okay.
He's in the hospital.
Obviously, going to be
okay. Yeah. So
don't do that anymore.
But other exciting news: we just hired another employee at Damage Control Services.
Did?
We did.
You got to change your wrap now in your car.
His picture probably won't be going on the car.
Why not?
Well, we've got lots of employees.
Oh, he's an employee, not a partner.
He's not an owner.
Okay.
But he's a very capable guy. He's going to be he's certified to do everything that I can do as far as disaster restoration.
So what?
He's been doing it for several years.
On the back of your car, why don't you get those little stick-on people that shows how many employees you have?
We could do that.
You could add one more plastic person.
A little stick figure.
You have 3 big ones.
I didn't think about that.
For you and...
me, Mike, and Rob.
You, Mike, and Rob, thank you. I was trying to remember the last name.
Sobieski,
yes. So you and the Sobieski brothers, and then there's lots of little ones.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Represent.
I think I like it.
How many would you need? 48?
Not quite that many. We'd need a few.
Okay.
It'd be a nice little family thing. That'd be kind of neat. Another exciting news. We've got a new project. We're doing it's not the renovation
Of?
Angie Lewis State Farm. Her new building downtown. She closed on it last week, and we're going to be doing the build out for it.
Oh, right. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And is she going to have a ribbon cutting? We announced them.
I'm sure she'll have a ribbon cutting.
We announced them.
Really?
By the way, the secret to a good turnout at a ribbon cutting is to have a barbecue at the same time.
A barbecue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Because the ribbon cuttings that have no barbecue, there's a so-so turnout. You say ribbon cutting at a barbecue, people will show up.
Now, are they showing up for the ribbon cutting or are they showing up for the barbecue?
Both. They're there to celebrate. Hey, good job.
And we're having food.
Yeah, thank me.
Food is always a bonus. As an ambassador for the CEP, I'm in a lot of ribbon cuttings. So.
Yeah, and that's the ones we're announcing. I don't know that any others, are there? I guess anybody could have a ribbon cutting.
Yeah, anybody can have one.
Do you have a big pair of scissors?
Yes.
Do they cut, or is it just for show?
No, these are real. Yeah, they're real. You need to come to ribbon cutting. We need to do one here.
That's what I keep thinking. We need to do one here. I know Joe and Dan said they were going to.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably wait and make sure everything's right.
We're still kind of putting it together. It's almost together completely.
Almost.
This is an amazing project that if you saw it from beginning to end, which you did,
right?
I know. It's just an amazing.
And that's, a lot of times people don't...
This window is amazing.
Right.
You guys did the window, right?
This used to just be a big block, just a solid
I
wall.
wouldn't have even thought you could do it. If somebody said to me, could you put a window there? I'd say no.
No.
Simple as that. No, I don't think so.
Well, anything's possible, and that's, as long as everything's done right as far as the, following the building codes and procedures, you can pretty much do just about anything.
It's amazing.
And you hire the right people, the architects and engineers, in order to make sure that it's done that way, and then it's just a matter of doing it. So
my nephew's wife posted on Facebook that
Okay.
she started her laundry, and all of a sudden, when she went back into the room, there was 2 inches of water on the floor. She called my nephew, who is her husband. He calmly apparently knew what to do, turned off the water, got out the shop vac, got the water up, fixed the problem, and bingo, she was, proud of her husband and posting, and rightly so, on Facebook. But I thought of you right away, because a lot of people wouldn't have somebody like that handy just right away,
And and thankfully they did everything that they need to do. Hopefully that the walls didn't get wet. And if they did, they want to make sure they get a fan blowing in there. Might want to post that on there for her, tell her to.
I have a feeling he knows more about it than I do. But
I'm sure he probably does. A lot of times homeowners don't, that water, just because it's 2 inches there, don't realize it's going under the walls and into the other areas. The surrounding areas. Yeah. So, and the walls, once they start getting wet,
then they weaken.
Yeah, that will weaken it. So, you want to make sure that gets properly dried out.
Yeah.
Since the cause of the water was stopped, she doesn't have to worry about mold or things like that, as long as it gets dried out.
And it sounded like the hose came off.
Okay.
And the only reason I bring that up is because you just don't realize how quickly something that you've depended on day after day after day could go wrong.
Well, that's a lot of times people don't realize that when this does happen, for example, a lot of times people aren't even home. They're gone whenever this happens, so they come home to a mess that's been there for a while. They don't even know it. So
the phone line is open if you would like to call Joe and ask a question. Sometimes you get your do-it-yourself people out there that want to know how to do it themselves, and any question is fair game. The number is 622-WOCA. If you want to call, that's the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline. You know what's a question I always have? If I'm repairing something that needs to be sealed, that stuff you buy, the goop in a tube? I never know what goop to buy. And sometimes it's white, sometimes it's clear, sometimes you have to use an applicator, and sometimes you just can use the tube by itself.
I've never used the goop in a tube.
Never, nothing. Really? Like around a bathtub or anything like that?
Well, like silicone? Is that what you're talking about?
I guess. I don't know what it's called.
Yes. Okay, I have used goop in a tube.
Well, there's a product called goop in a tube, so I wasn't referring to the product.
Okay.
I just meant all goop in all tubes.
All goop in all tubes, like silicone or caulking?
Yeah.
Okay.
You use that, right?
A lot. Typically, silicone you'll use, and it'll tell you on the tube.
Like around the bottom, the edge of a toilet.
The tub, you'll want to use silicone, or even on under a toilet, you could use silicone. Caulking is going to be used to adhere something to, like drywall, for example. So if you're going like a countertop against the wall, you'd want to use a caulking. If you're doing let's just say it's a granite countertop that you're like this countertop here in the studio, where it would touch the drywall, you would use caulking. Where it's going granite to granite, like if you had a backsplash joint and you were doing that seam, you would want to use silicone there. So typically, like tile areas, you'd want to use the silicone. You wouldn't want to use caulking if you were doing like in a bathroom area. Or around a window, you'd want to use a caulking. If you were doing the window frame to the drywall, you'd want to use caulking in that area.
So now, is it fair to say that if I didn't know a thing about it but wanted to do it myself, and it looked like a job I could maybe consider tackling, that I could just get that kind of good information from the guys and ladies? It's not just a men's thing, but who work at like the Lowe's and the Home Depots. I'm not trying to pick, or Ace Hardware or anything like that.
Yeah, any handy store. What do you call those type of store?
Hardware store?
Hardware. I was thinking handy. That was all I was going. Handyman. Hardware store. Any type of hardware store, you could ask them, and they could help you figure out what would be the best thing to use in those instances, and make sure that you're using the best
Because you know what I
best thing
didn't
for it.
say last week when you had your screen expert in the studio, your aluminum guy?
Right, Ronnie?
Right. I made the exact mistake that he said everybody makes when I got that wrong. What do you call
The
it?
spline?
Spline. I got the wrong spline, and I believe he nailed me. I didn't say it.
He was talking to you?
Right, where you're supposed to use a flat one, and I used a round one, because I think the flat one came out of the thing I was trying to trying to fix.
Yeah, that's the thing. Unless you're doing it all the time, you know what you're doing. There's all kinds of different, even silicones like that. You go to some of these stores, Home Depot or Lowe's, and they've got, 100 different varieties and just as many different colors. So you want to make sure you get the right one and what's going to be best for it. So you've got the siliconized caulking, you have silicone, you have caulking, and, all kinds of different. Man, that girl's from Jimmy John's and she's running just like the commercial.
Just like the commercial.
Just like the commercial.
It's amazing how many people in this mall order from Jimmy John's. By the way, I see that girl all the time. I've
never seen that girl. So
really?
No.
She's the only girl who does not wave at you too, because she's too busy running.
She was running.
So, where I was going to say here? I lost my train of thought.
We're talking caulking.
Yeah.
So do you have goop in a tube that you need to use?
No.
Okay.
No, I broke a chair.
Okay.
A plastic arm of a chair, and I bought some glue. Gorilla Glue?
Gorilla Glue, yeah.
And it doesn't work on plastic.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, I read the label after I used it.
See, that's the thing. Pretty much you need to read the label. Anytime you read the label, it's going to help you tell you what you can and can't do.
So now I got to find a glue that works on plastic. But what I was thinking, just the glue you used to use on model airplanes, that used to hold plastic together pretty well.
Or like a super glue, anything like that.
Super glue works on plastic?
I think so.
Okay, so what I want to tell you is that the screen that needs to be fixed is in the screen door.
Okay.
And it's actually beneficial for me to not fix it because it enables my neighbor's cat to come in through there. And I figure that's going to be a deterrent for any mice that might want to choose my place.
Right.
So.
That keeps them away for sure. But if the cat can get in, so can the mice, so...
Wow. I don't mind a cat. Stay in the porch. Don't come in the house.
Yeah, that was a good show. Speaking of shows, you remember a couple, I guess it was in February, I had Brian Gibson in here. He was the spokesman for the Sheriff's Department, the Emergency Command Center.
Yes.
Yeah, he passed away.
No way.
30 years old. Yep.
What happened?
I do not know, but they found him slumped over in his car on the 10th.
Was he at the sheriff's office? Was he?
He worked out of the command center.
Oh, I read that story. I didn't realize it was the same guy.
That was the guy that was in here, yeah. And I was going to have him on here in a couple weeks in order to talk about hurricane.
That was a terrible story.
Yeah.
I don't think the story indicated how old he was.
30.
And no idea what happened, huh?
Not yet.
Wow.
They might know now, but as of that time, not yet. But kind of sad.
Life should not be taken for granted.
Should not. I agree.
Okay.
So we got a lot of mold jobs happening right now. Out of nowhere, I'm coming back to the show. A lot of mold. We've got several properties from a property management company, and these are homes that have been vacant, and they were closed up and have different water leaks. One of them is leaking around the skylight. Every time it rains, it gets more damage and causing some mold in the wall and just terrible situations like that. So we've got to go in and do a proper evaluation of what it's going to take to fix it and then do all the work to clean it up.
So my guess is that when you have a flood and you use the dry vac and you get all the water up, and like you said, it sometimes gets between the two panels of, what do you call it, drywall?
Between the walls, yeah.
That could be where the mold starts to develop, in there where you don't even see it, right?
Or under the wall. A lot of times your carpet, even though your carpet feels dry, your padding underneath can be wet. So we'll have areas where that has caused problems. So, other exciting news, Larry. Tomorrow, I will be at Hammett Bowen Elementary School.
Oh, really?
Talking to first graders for Career Day.
When you go in through the front door of Hammett Bowen Elementary School,
okay,
look to your left if it's still there. I'm the one who did the portrait of Hammett Bowen.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, there's a long story behind that. I'll tell you in 2 seconds, probably. Well, 30 seconds. It was probably Memorial Day, and I had asked if anybody. I had a contest years ago that I would do a portrait. If you gave me a name of somebody, I'll just pick one and do one. And so it was it was somebody for Hammett Bowen. And so I did the portrait, and it was presented. Hank Whittier and his guys presented it to Hammett's father, and there was another. I think I did 2 soldiers that year. Anyway, so Hammett Bowen's father got it, had it hanging up in his house forever, and then when the school was named after his son, he made a presentation of the portrait, and it now hangs in the school.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Mr. Bowen, the father, then passed away.
Neat.
Yeah. So I didn't mean it.
No, that's cool.
So you're going over there to?
I'm going. I've never been there before.
So when you go there, you look for the portrait. You ready? You want to take a phone call?
Let's do a phone call.
Good morning. You're on the air with Joe.
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Good.
Say, I got a guy that I worked with years up in Wisconsin, and this last winter was it for him, so he's on his way to Florida, and he asked me to kind of keep an eye on the homes. There's plenty of homes for sale, and in our area in particular is a very nice home it's been vacant for 4, maybe going on 5 years, and I walk my dogs by it very frequently, and the air conditioning has never been running, or the heating or nothing. Am I doing a bad thing by showing this house or telling about this house to this fellow? It's because of the fact that all these years without air conditioning, there might be a bad moisture problem?
Well, you're not doing a bad thing. I mean, until you get in there, you really don't know. As long as the home is built properly, there shouldn't be any problem. Hopefully it's had some ventilation, that it is able to breathe. Really don't know until you really look at it, though. That's the thing about it. But as long as it was constructed right.
You would be the person to contact come and take a look at it, right?
Well, probably a home inspector would be your best bet. I mean, okay. we could look at it, but a home inspector is going to do a more detailed examination than what we do. I mean, they have a whole process that they go through and from top to bottom and make sure that everything is okay. That would be where I would start probably.
Is there a chance that with all the years with no air conditioning and the humidity down here, that you could get that into like a drywall or something that would never be able to? It might warp it or something or damage it.
Well, I wouldn't think you'd have a problem there. With the home being closed up for that amount of time, if there is a problem, it's going to be pretty evident. You're not going to. It won't be a hidden problem, but I mean, more than likely it's going to have a musty smell in there, and that could just be a matter of having it aired out. Have an air quality test done if it's more than that, and that is something that we could do as far as an air quality test. Make sure that the air inside the home is okay. That would make sure that there's no mold or anything like that.
Would you also check it for radon?
I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. Radon's not something that we have too much in this area, so.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that was helpful. And if you have any further questions, you can call me on my phone number, 352-817-6574, or email me, Joe at damageflorida, all spelled out, damageflorida.com.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Joe. And perfect timing, too.
Yeah, that seemed to work out pretty good.
All right. Well, thank you. And this is WOCA Ocala, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. An armed standoff in the Libyan capital between Islamist rebels and the government has our government taking action.
A senior U.S. defense official says American aircraft based in Italy are being prepared for use if the State Department decides to evacuate its personnel from the U.S. Embassy in Tripoli, Libya's capital.
Fox Radio, Steve Taylor.
Some of the aircraft are V-22 Ospreys, which can carry 24 people landing and taking off vertically. 250 Marines based in Sigonella, Italy, are standing by if the evacuate order is given.
The violence has caused Saudi Arabia to close its embassy. Turkey has closed its consulate. And police in Los Angeles have arrested and charged Michael Jace, who plays a police officer on The Shield, on suspicion of murder. His wife was found shot to death last night. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Right now at Napa, get your favorite flavor of Valvoline Conventional or Max Life Motor Oil for just $3.59 a quart. Buy 5 quarts and you'll also get a $7 mail-in rebate. Yep, $7. Enough to get a plate of bacon with a side of bacon smothered in bacon. Now that's tasty. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 5/31/14.
And now, another golf confessional brought to you by Golfsmith. A man told us every time he tees off, he hires a gallery to scream, "It's in the hole!" just like the fans on TV. This started after he went to Golfsmith and picked up the Callaway HX bite balls with tour-level spin. He got 2 dozen for $35. He said if he's going to stop the ball on the green like a tour player, he wants fans like a tour player. Pick up the Callaway HX bite balls, 2 dozen for $35, exclusively at Golfsmith. Anything.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box